Hey guys, I'm Krista, and this is my big sister Stacey.
And this is Sister Social Call. Hey, Sissy.
Hey sis, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. It's Friday. I'm a bit tired tonight, but that's just because it's Friday evening. End of a busy week. How's your day?
My day was great. Yep, everything's good.
Good. Right on. Right on. Well, did you want to let everybody know what we're going to be chatting about today?
Sure do. Tonight we are going to be discussing our Slow Readers Book Club books. We picked two in episode 13, and we're going to be discussing them tonight. The first book Chrissy picked, and it was called I Am Her Tribe. And the second book I picked, and it was the Serviceberry, Abundance and Reciprocity in the Natural World. Chrissy gave me I'm Her Tribe as my birthday gift, so thanks, sis. And I picked Serviceberry because it was a beautifully short book about something that I absolutely love, Saskatoon berries. Let's dig into the Serviceberry book first, Chrissy, and then we'll get into I Am Her Tribe.
Sounds great.
Okay, so from the #1 New York Times bestselling author of Braiding Sweetgrass, a bold and inspiring vision for how to orient our lives around gratitude, reciprocity, and community based on lessons of the natural world. As an Indigenous scientist and author of Braiding Sweetgrass, Robin Wall Kimmerer harvests service berries alongside the birds. She considers the ethic of reciprocity that lies at the heart of the gift economy. How she asks, can we learn from Indigenous wisdom and the plant world to reimagine what we value most? Our economy is rooted in scarcity, competition, and the hoarding of resources, and we have surrendered our values to a system that actively harms what we love. Meanwhile, the serviceberry's relationship with the natural world is an embodiment of reciprocity, interconnectedness, and gratitude. The tree distributes its wealth, its abundance of sweet, juicy berries, to meet the needs of the natural community. And this distribution ensures its own survival. As Kimmerer explains, serviceberries show us another model, one based upon reciprocity, where wealth comes from the quality of our relationships, not from the illusion of self-sufficiency. For our listeners, the serviceberry is also known as the Juneberry, or what we like to call it as the Saskatoon berry. When I saw this book and the title of it, I truly believed it would be simply about the Saskatoon berry, but it was much deeper than that. In this book, she reflects on gifts and interconnectedness of the Saskatoon berry. She discusses how the current economy is based on scarcity and contemplates a better way through the gift economy. And I'm quite a realist, and Chrissy is too. And we probably can't see us moving to an exclusive gift economy where wealth and abundance is redistributed freely through gifts as the primary economic driver. But our current system is fraught with problems, and that's evident in the depths of poverty that we're seeing right now. In any case, it did get me thinking about how I can contribute to the gift economy, because I actually do love this value system of sharing and redistributing. And in many ways, I think I am. I love to host people in my home and have dinners. And I actually think something like YouTube and other streaming platforms are part of the gift economy. Who doesn't love going to YouTube and searching, like, how do I fix this or that? And the answer is there. We've fixed a few things in our home by just simply going to YouTube. And I think actually our podcast is part of the gift economy. We truly want to connect with our listeners and create meaningful episodes. We are reaching people, connecting and having conversations with our listeners we never would have had before our podcast.
Absolutely.
And our listeners are reciprocating it with kindness and love, reviews, and subscriptions. So I think that this is part of the gift economy. And then I thought about who in my life embodies this spirit the most. There's a couple people. One, it's my dear friend Jenna. And it doesn't matter the occasion. When I see her, she usually has a gift for me. And I have said repeatedly, this is not necessary, but it is for her because it is who she is and how she's raised and the values she holds. And so I thank her for showing me a little bit of this way. And I think you are also amazing at it, sis. I think you're fantastic at this. If I was living in Saskatchewan, I know I would benefit from your labors in the garden. But I do, anyways, in canned goods. I just love receiving gifts from the earth. It's going to be rhubarb and peonies right away. I actually was volunteering last night at the thrift store, and there's this lady there that always bakes for us every week that she's volunteering. And she made something with rhubarb in it last night from her garden from this year already.
Ooh, so good.
Yeah. Anyways, what did you think about the book, sis?
Well, yeah, I thought it was a really beautiful book. I had a bit of a hard time getting down into it, and I just think it's because I've had so much going on in the last little bit. But once I got into it, it was a quick read. It's like 103 pages long. I pretty much read the entire thing in one night. I love the idea behind it. Like you said, we are realists, but I do truly think that whole living in a gift economy is just something that I do enjoy when I grow my garden. I enjoy sharing that. And so much so to the point where I used to sell the vegetables, but far more prefer to give my extra produce away than to be paid for it. And I don't know why that is, but I had that like the last year that I did the vegetable subscription, it became like a job. And that's not to me what the garden's all about. If you have a lot of food, extend your table or something. Like, what's that quote? Something like that, where it's like, I would way farther rather share in that capacity and share with the people around me and the people that I love. Usually once a week, I give away a free bouquet of flowers, because I just want to do that because I know so that it'll totally make somebody's day. You just have that person that comes into the salon where they're just like having a time or whatever, or even having a great day. And you're just like, you know what, let's keep adding to it, whatever. And you just there's something about that type of life, like just living that life that's very fulfilling and it's just, I think that's just how we are meant to be as people, to share. It's just something that I think we've always kind of had in us a little bit where like even for you, well, you bake every one of your friends a batch of cookies on their birthday. You just have like this ritual of doing these things. And when you ask, like in the show notes or whatever, about who do I know that really truly does embody this? And I find that I'm around so many people, I mean, in my day to day life that do that on a regular basis. I have one person in particular, like my beach mama Eunice, she's always looking out for me. Every time there's like the church does the soup lunch, she always knows that I'm super busy. She calls down to the salon and asks me what kind of soup I want, and then she brings it down and always brings an extra cookie. And then right now she's working at a flower shop and she knows I love, like I said, well, Uni, if you think about me and you're not too busy, I would love just a bunch of greenery. I'm just missing that like in my house. And I know she'll be coming back with a freaking mat. She's just so thoughtful. Like even my partner, Mark, like, he'll go to the store and he'll go to town for something. And like, lately he's been freaking coming back with a flower or like a plant or, something like that. And it's for no other reason than he knows how happy it makes me. Yeah. Anyways, so that I think that's a great way to live, and we can all really learn a little something from that, and just to be a little bit more mindful of that. But you're right, we could sound a little bit more of that in our life. I think a lot of people should read the book. I think it would strum a few chords for people.
Yeah, one of the examples she gave in the book was like the little libraries where people leave books, take books, as one of those gift economy examples in our day-to-day lives. And I've seen seed exchanges like that and community pantries, but I was trying to think of others that could be implemented into community to make it a little bit bigger rather than just in your personal lives.
Well, I know for me, one thing that I really truly do a lot of when I'm purging, I will put whatever I'm purging, if it's relatively decent stuff, I just put it out front my house and put free on it. And I kid you not, that stuff is gone within hours. And then I started doing that years ago. And then my front yard became trust me, my neighbors aren't dumping all their junk there, but it became the spot because it's wide open. And so people would bring down other things, and the little free thing would be there, and I'm cool with that. Like, I am good if you want to do that at my yard for people to share their stuff. I'm down, I'm here for it. So yeah, so that's one thing I know that I do, and also my neighbors do, and I think that's great. People have such an abundance of stuff in their life, it's excessive, and I think that's great. Like, if you want to get rid of stuff and purge stuff, and it can help somebody else, that's great.
Mm-hmm. I also liked how this book weaved in nicely into our point of in our life. We talked about scarcity in episode 14, in episode 18, and now in this episode, I can kind of see how it's shifting into this conversation around gift economy, and that if you start seeing the abundance in the world and the interconnectedness, that it definitely challenges the scarcity mindset really fast.
It definitely made me think about that. It's like, are we putting too much energy into that scarcity mindset? Like, are we giving it too much of our power? A little bit, like, because we talk about it, we live in it? Like, are we dwelling in it too much? I understand that it's a thing, but it's like I'm almost wondering if like we're just, yeah, I don't know if giving it the power is the best way to say that, but the more that we continually, I understand that's a conversation that needs to be had, but it's like, oh, it got me thinking, like, we definitely need to shift our thoughts on that.
Right, because where your thoughts go, your energy flows. So
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. So I kind of thought it definitely made me think a little bit about that one. We have everything we could possibly need, and then much more. Yet we feel we live in this we get stuck in this scarcity mindset. It's just foolish to actually think that. I think we live far more abundantly than probably the majority of the world, I would say. There's a lot of people that live with a lot less and are a lot happier. So I do think I think we just kind of get living in it and feeling like we need more, need more, we need to have more, we need to do more, we need to be more, we need to more, 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 more. It just, society has like made us feel like this is just the more the merrier, but actually no. It's like maybe not the more the merrier. Wow, let's deep thoughts on that one. Definitely thought provoking for sure.
We've just had one of those probably good conversations that can see that actually just shifted thinking in real time.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And I think that's just part of life where you acknowledge where you're struggling at or what you're struggling in, and you acknowledge it and you see where that sits inside of you and thank it for being there and let her be. Anywho, that concludes our reviews on the Serviceberry. So I'm gonna move into the book that I picked. I Am Her Tribe. It's a book of poetry by Danielle Doby, and this collection of poetry is thought provoking. It is empowering. It's emotional, relatable. It's a lot. It's a lot. The I found the book is something that you could read at different times in your life, and then the poetry could mean something different at that time. Like, you could read it at one time and be like, it could mean something totally different the next time you read it. It's one of those ones that you could read over and over again, I think. So it's a beautiful collection that I know I connected with on many levels. I'm just going to read a quick little poem in here. Be here now. Lately, I found myself wanting to rush my way to the ending of things. Interactions, experiences, feelings, silence. Right now, I'm in the practice of not pushing so hard, rather dropping back into my body, taking the extra moments to really feel my feet on the ground, and being with my breath and what I find there in its wholeness.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful, and it's truly where I'm kind of at in my life at this exact moment. And I could have really, really, really feel that one. There's so many in here. But, anyways, that's just one example of the beauty in this book of poetry. So, Christine would read some poems out of it in our women's group. Just they were so beautiful that many of us were like, we need to get that book. So that's truly why I got it. And then I thought, well, what better person to share that with than with my sister? So yeah. So tell me about what you thought, because I gifted it to you, and I knew that it probably wasn't something that you would traditionally pick for yourself.
No, I would not pick a poetry book for myself. And I'm not going to lie, I was intimidated when you gave me a book of poetry because poetry feels so inaccessible. I can
Why?
remember learning about limericks and haikus and sonnets with like iambic pentameters in school. And so that's what I think of when I think of poetry.
I'm impressed that you remember all those terms that you just listed off, because I do not.
I remember the haikus and sonnets, limericks, but I had to look up the iambic pentameter. But anyways, this book was beautiful. I didn't study the structure in the poems, but it appeared from what I could see mostly free-form poetry. I just took the words for what they were on the paper, and they were beautiful. From the opening page that states, "Come as you are, your breath can rest here." What a beautiful invitation. The last page states, "I hope you walk away tall in the truth that you are not alone. You matter, your story matters, your feelings matter. Hold that close." And what a blessing to send on your way. Like, this book was full of beautiful messages like that. And yes, like, you could read it at any point in life, and I think you would find a piece in there that would really resonate. This poem and this book of poetry really spoke to my heart and reminded me that traversing through life can be pretty lonely for people, and I feel like that this is a very timely conversation to have because it's Mental Health Week in Canada. Loneliness is a big problem in this world right now. And so I dug out my Atlas of the Heart book by Brene Brown to read a little bit about loneliness. And at the heart of loneliness, it's the absence of meaningful social interaction and intimate relationship, friendships, family gatherings, or even community or work group connections. I think we are seeing so much absence of really meaningful connections in this world. Although I feel like we are so blessed that so many people keep reaching out to us and saying how much they're enjoying the podcast and that they feel really connected to me and Chrissy. That is the most meaningful thing people can tell us.
Absolutely. If there's one thing that we just wanted, that we really truly wanted on this podcast, was to create that connection with people and to be relatable. And I think, yeah, that's just such a beautiful thing that's happening. It's awesome.
I am sometimes lonely out here, even though we have pretty close friends out here and we know people. But because I'm not in Saskatchewan with my family, I miss our family gatherings immensely. And I think that even though you can have a really, really good network of people, it's not your family. And so I still get that sense of loneliness quite often. And yeah, we're pretty lucky because we do FaceTime and do the podcast, but nothing replaces a good family dinner together.
Very true. That's very true. It's interesting when you talked about loneliness and you brought up the book about Brené Brown, because I have found in probably the last couple years of my life, I would say, or maybe even longer than that, I think that's also what propelled me to really venture into the healing journey that I've been on for the last two and a bit years. But I felt so lonesome. I felt so lonely. I was feeling that in so much of my life. And I remember having conversations with Mark, like telling him, I feel so lonesome. Like, how are we in this relationship and I feel so lonesome? And then in my life in general, I just felt lonely. I felt disconnected. I was feeling this lonesomeness. And so I attribute it to the lack of connection with people around me. And that's what I thought it was. And anyways, when I was doing this women's group, it blew my brain apart because I have totally believed that loneliness was like the lack of connection to other people. But what I truly realized in this was that it was the lack of connection to my authentic self. And then it was preventing me from having those deep amazing connections with people. And that is what was propelling the loneliness. It wasn't the people. I'm surrounded by people. I'm around people all the time, and I have amazing relationships with people. What I realized was that it was the connection to myself that I was like really, really lacking. And it was the connection to the person that I know that I am, just haven't always been. And it's not that I haven't always been, but like life throws you curveballs. And for me, I got so far from my true authentic self, I think. Once I realized that one thing in me that I needed and was to reconnect with truly who I was and then just be that person, it's infiltrated and permeated like my entire orb around me of people. So when you talked about that little piece about Brené Brown, it was, and I do totally understand that. But for me, I think it really, when we got talking about the loneliness, I was like, oh, I've felt that before. But I think it was really that just like that little bit of a disconnection from myself and the person that I am.
And isn't it so much easier in life when you do connect with your authentic self and you can just move, I think, way more easily and without an invisible weight on your shoulders and in your heart and your stomach.
Yeah, definitely. And just getting to that point where, I am who I am and I'm okay with that. And I want to celebrate that person. And that's the one thing I keep saying, like, I am intense. I do everything in my life intensively. I'm bold and I'm creative and I love to love deeply and I love to experience life very deeply. And I think that was just like really suppressed for quite a few years, probably the entirety of my marriage. Anyhow, yeah, it's just amazing. Like the feeling that I have once I, tuned into that, it's amazing how everything around you changes. And
this book is hopeful to me, and so I'm going to read one final poem. The title is called Lessons Worth Learning and Relearning. None of this was meant to be done all alone. There is nothing courageous about covering up your pain so no one sees it. There is nothing glorified about having it all together. You do not need to justify choosing your health over someone's happiness or approval. And life can be wonderful, perfect, even when and especially when it's hard. And I think that really just speaks to opening up and being authentic. And I think it speaks to us on this podcast. So bravo, Pixis. You gave me a book that I wasn't really entirely sure about, but it was beautiful.
Nice. Like I said, I wasn't sure giving it to you either because I knew it was quite out of your wheelhouse. But that's what we're all about. 2025 is doing new things and trying new things. We want this year to be big and fabulous. All right. I think that's gonna wrap up our chat for that stuff for now. Should I introduce our next book, Sissy?
Yeah, you should.
Let's do that. So this book is called Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. This is the Good Reads book review. Remarkably Bright Creatures, an exploration of friendship, reckoning, and hope, tracing a widow's unlikely connection with a giant Pacific octopus. After Tova Sullivan's husband died, she began working the night shift at the Sewell Bay Aquarium, mopping floors and tidying up. Keeping busy has always helped her cope, which she's been doing since her 18-year-old son Eric mysteriously vanished on a boat in Puget Sound over 30 years ago. Oh my God, I gotta get closer. My eyeballs are.
Get your glasses on,
I
Sissy.
need readers on. Okay, Tova becomes acquainted with curmudgeonly Marcellus, a giant Pacific octopus living at the aquarium. Marcellus knows more than anyone can imagine, but wouldn't dream of lifting one of his 8 arms for his human captors until he forms a remarkable friendship with Tova. Ever the detective, Marcellus deduces what happened the night Tova's son disappeared. And now Marcellus must use every trick his old invertebrate body can muster to unearth the truth of her before it's too late. Shelby Van Pelt's debut novel is a gentle reminder that sometimes taking a hard look at the past can help uncover a future that once felt impossible. This book was recommended to us by my friend Sue Barber, and she recommended this to me about a year ago, and I honestly put the audiobook into Libby. That's the online digital library where you can listen to audiobooks, and I'm super excited to read it. It's very cool that we decided to read this book. At the time in my women's class, we did a little bit of work with the octopus. That's kind of like a spirit animal kind of thing. We did a little bit of work with that anyway, so we picked this book and then we did the work with the octopus. And so I was like, we need to be reading this right now because yeah, it just kind of all it was like we were doing this work and then this book is about an octopus.
Huh. That's interesting. I read the first 4 chapters and it is so adorable. I know that this is going to be an easy and lovely read.
Okay. I had Sue in today and she said, Sue, we're going to be reading your book that you suggested for our Slow Readers book club. And I said, when I visited my sister in Invermere, we went to the bookstore there and we were talking to Grant about it. And he was telling us it's a lovely book and he had 6 copies there. So Stacey and I, we were supporting the local bookstore in Invermere and we bought ourselves the book there. So yeah, I'm excited to read it. I can't believe you're 4 chapters in already.
Those 4 chapters have been small.
The heck is going on with you?
Well, I'm the slow reader in this partnership, so I need to get a head start.
I think I'm going to be a bit slow. I think I'm in my summer. I think I'm in summer readers mode, so this might be a bit slower than average.
Okay, but you know what I think we should do is ask our listeners what there is on their summer reading list, and I'd like to put together that list.
Okay,
I'll do it.
Guys, Stacey's asking a question here.
Yeah, I'll even put it on Instagram because I'd really like to know what everybody is reading this summer or what they're reading right now and would recommend. But yeah, definitely. I think we can share that too to all of our listeners.
Yeah, great idea. That would be an awesome post and that's an awesome thing because you and I, we've put out calls for books for our book club. But it's like a needle in a haystack. You go to the bookstore and there's so many books there, you almost don't even know where to begin because it's overwhelming. And then of course, everybody has such a different style that they like to read. So it'd be really nice to get some suggestions from people and compile a nice list and share that with everybody for the summer.
Yeah, so good. I'm going to say that I don't want any fairy porn recommendations, but Chrissy might.
No, I don't want that. I like the kind of like romance novels, but not old school. One book I haven't ever read is like a cowboy country western smutty novel, which might be kind of fun. Because you see them at like the shoppers, at the shoppers drug mart, you see their little book section. There's always one that's like a cowboy riding a horse with some damsel with hair flowing out the back. And you're like, I should just pick that up and read it. See if it sounds like my life. Probably won't. But anyways, I haven't ever been tempted to do it, but maybe I need to just for fun.
The gift economy might come your way. You never know what your clients might start bringing you in now that you've put it out there into the universe.
Well, exactly. And we do, as we were talking about, those little libraries. In the village I live in, we have two little libraries outside the village office. And every once in a while, I do donate books to that as well. And I peek my head in there sometimes just hoping that I will see one just so that I don't have to purchase it, like actually in front of a person. But I haven't found one yet. I don't look that often, but maybe I just need to start looking more regularly. But anyway, that's just funny stuff.
It's funny that you won't buy that book in front of people because it would fall that's how I feel about lots of things that are at the pharmacy at Shoppers that I don't want to buy in front of other people, but the book would be the least of my worries. Although there are books that I don't want to buy when Grant is in the store. So if he's listening or his wife's listening, I'm like, I don't want to buy that in front of you guys. Although I know you can see my purchase history.
What was the book you didn't want to buy there? There was one that I was reading.
Well, probably like The Crown of Thorns or whatever that series.
It was a Twisted series, yeah, and you're just like, no, I can't be buying that, like with them working there. Yeah, that's funny. The Twisted series, that was a good one for sure. Okay, anyways, shall we meander on into the Pits, Peaks, and Plants?
Yeah, we definitely should.
You're up first.
Okay.
I've been talking all day today.
Pits. Oh, everything's actually all good. It was a good week. I don't have any pits. Everything's just A-okay. Peaks, my goodness. Recording with you and Zena last week was probably my week peak for sure. This episode will obviously come out after that one, but you guys, it was so good. And my heart was so full afterwards. It was amazing. We had our first beach supper with our friends, Mark and Laura. So it's beach season out here, so that's great. We got a new tent. So Sean and I didn't set it up, but Sean set it up, and he also got a new camping mattress. So he blew that up, and it was exciting to get our new tent. The tent we had was over 30 years old. So it was time for a new one. And this one is super lightweight because Sean wants to do some bike packing, and we are hopeful that that will be our tent that we can go backcountry hiking and camping in. Yeah, so that was fun. I volunteered last night at the thrift store, and tomorrow I'm volunteering with the Canadian Red Cross at our regional district's emergency preparedness fair. And then, oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this plan for the week coming up. On Sunday, in a couple of days, we're going to Canmore to go see Ruben in the Dark and the Bullhorn Singers. And I will put a link to a YouTube video and in our show notes, because this music will hit you in your heart and soul.
Yeah, you shared that video with me, and it was so good.
And I know lots of people say that music hits them in the heart and soul about meaningful music, but this one, I think it brings me to tears when I listen to it. So it really hits me in the feels, that's for sure. So yeah, and then next week, normal work week.
Nice.
That's it. How about your peaks, pits, and plans, sis?
Okay, well, I don't have any pits this week. So far, so good. It's been pretty groovy. My peaks, I went for coffee with the gals from my group, so that was really exciting because I hadn't seen them in a few weeks. We'd been texting and whatnot, but of course, it's really nice to get to know them outside of our group, because in our group, though we we were together a lot. We were doing such deep inner work that we didn't get the chance to really get to know each other we know each other on a very deep, intense level, but just the regular day-to-day stuff, we don't really know a lot about each other because that's not what we were there for. So it's going to be great getting to know these ladies. And honestly, it just was so great to see them. It just felt like going to see the sisters and amazing, the connection. So that was a super awesome peak of my week. And then, recording with Zena. I haven't seen Zena in so many years. I know that you and her are really great close friends. And I know Zena from camp. I've known her for a long time too. And you know what? Honestly, it was just so nice to see her in camera and to have that chat with her. And she's just so lovely. So I loved that as well. It was great. I'm really excited about that episode too. I think it's going to be really awesome for our listeners. And I think that's just the beginning of maybe hopefully a few more great episodes with her, because I think she's got a lot of great wisdom to share with us, and I think we could have some great chats, all of us together. So yeah, anyways, plans. Well, my best girlfriend Kelly is competing in a powerlifting competition tomorrow, so it's in Regina, so I'm gonna go check it out and see her do her thing. So she's been training for this. She did one in Calgary a couple months ago, and then she's doing this one, so she's been working her booty off for that. I'm gonna hang out with Mom tomorrow for Mother's Day. So after I go watch Kelly, Mom and I are gonna meet up and do some plant shopping, and then go for like lunch or supper, whatever, I guess, depending on what'll happen. And then I guess I'm gonna head to the farm on Sunday at some point in time. My weekend's kind of wonky, but I'll probably end up going Saturday because I'm going to go to the city and hang with, do Kelly's thing and then hang with Mom. And then I'll probably, I'd have to come home and get text. So I might as well just spend the night. But Mark told me tonight that Haven's there. So yeah, so there's that. So I'll probably, I doubt I'll drive there tomorrow, but I'll probably go Sunday and then maybe we can have supper or lunch together. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much it. A regular standard week. Nothing earth shattering happening. It's just, we're just getting into it's just busy time for all the things, gardening and all the things. So work, life, yada yada. I think that's probably going to wrap it up for us this week, you guys. As per usual, thank you all so much for listening, for tuning in to Sister's Social Call. We're just having so much fun doing it. And thank you for liking, for downloading the episodes, for the reviews, for sending us messages, pictures, selfies, all that good stuff. Keep them coming. We absolutely love it. You guys just totally make us so excited to do the episodes. And yeah, if you guys are loving the episodes, share them with the people that you love in your life and spread us around. Share the word. We'd love for you guys to do that. So I think that's going to wrap it up. Where can people find us, sis?
Folks can find Sister Social Call on Instagram. They can find Chrissy on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can even Snapchat her if you really want to. And you can find me on LinkedIn or Facebook. I also want to do a special thank you to all of the moms out there, especially my mom, our mom, and our aunts. Love you, sissy.
Love you too, sis.